Imagine discovering that one of history's greatest civilizations began its morning by putting urine into its mouth. Not as a punishment, not as a bizarre ritual, but as toothpaste. It sounds like the kind of rumor invented to make the ancient world seem grotesque, something too ridiculous to survive even a few seconds of common sense. And yet, millions of Romans believed it worked. Some even paid extra for the finest imported urine money could buy. How could an empire capable of building aqueducts, engineering roads that still exist today, and creating architectural wonders also willingly rinse their mouths with human waste? Were they simply ignorant? Or did they know something we've forgotten? Because the deeper you dig into this story, the less it becomes about urine, and the more it becomes about the strange things human beings will accept when everyone around them believes it's normal. Picture yourself waking up in ancient Rome. The streets are already alive. Merchants shout over one another. Blacksmiths hammer glowing iron. Fresh bread drifts through the air. But beneath those familiar smells is another layer. Animals, smoke, rotting waste, open sewers. This was one of the largest cities the world had ever seen, packed with well over 1 million people into a space that struggled to handle them all. Cleanliness wasn't impossible. Romans actually valued bathing, grooming, and appearance far more than many people imagine. Public bathhouses became social centers. Perfumes were common. Hair was carefully styled. White teeth were admired. The problem was simple. There were no supermarkets, no fluoride toothpaste, no mint-flavored mouthwash, no dentists waiting around the corner to repair years of neglect. If your teeth decayed, pain became part of your life. If they fell out, they rarely came back. People experimented with whatever seemed to help. Ash, crushed shells, charcoal, powdered bones, ground minerals, anything abrasive enough to scrape away stains. But then, someone noticed something strange. Urine changes as it sits. Fresh urine is mostly water, but leave it exposed to air long enough. Something happens. Bacteria begin breaking down the urea. The liquid slowly transforms, releasing ammonia. Today, ammonia is recognized as a powerful cleaning agent. It cuts through grease, lifts stains, breaks down grime. The Romans didn't understand chemistry. They didn't know molecules or chemical reactions, but they understood results. Clothes washed in aged urine looked cleaner. Wool became brighter. Stubborn stains disappeared. If it worked on fabric, why wouldn't it work on teeth? That single leap of logic transformed something disgusting into something valuable. Not because it smelled pleasant. It absolutely didn't. But because visible results often overpower invisible disgust. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Romans didn't simply tolerate urine, they built an economy around it. Across Roman cities stood large public containers. People relieved themselves inside them throughout the day, not because sanitation demanded it, because someone would collect it. Workers gathered the liquid. Full containers were transported to workshops. Fullers, professional cleaners, used urine to wash expensive clothing. Leather workers used it. Textile makers relied on it. Even some dental cleaning mixtures included aged urine because of its whitening effect. Waste had become a commodity. Something nobody wanted suddenly became something everyone needed. Demand grew so large that Emperor Vespasian eventually placed a tax on urine collection. Think about that. An empire famous for military conquest once taxed human urine because it had become economically valuable. According to later historical accounts, when Vespasian's son criticized the idea, the emperor supposedly held up a coin from the tax revenue and asked whether it smelled. Of course it didn't. Money had erased its origin. The phrase often associated with that story carries a timeless message. Money doesn't smell. But neither, it seems, does profit. And that uncomfortable truth reaches far beyond ancient Rome. Here's the unsettling part. The Romans weren't entirely wrong. Ammonia really can remove surface stains. It can make teeth appear whiter. Modern cleaning products still rely on ammonia for many of the same reasons. But whitening isn't the same as protecting. Urine offered no fluoride, no cavity prevention, no defense against harmful bacteria living inside the mouth. In fact, repeated exposure to harsh ammonia could irritate soft tissues and potentially damage the mouth over time. The bright smile may have hidden deeper problems, and this pattern feels strangely familiar because humans have always confused appearance with health. We chase what looks clean, what looks successful, what looks convincing, long before we ask whether it actually is. But this wasn't the strangest part of the story, not even close, because the real mystery isn't why Romans used urine. It's why millions of intelligent people accepted something so revolting without questioning it. And once you understand that answer, you may start looking at your own daily habits very differently. Imagine being born into Rome. You never invent your own idea of normal. You inherit it from your parents, your neighbors, your teachers, your entire civilization. If everyone around you uses the same cleaning mixture, if respected citizens recommend it, if physicians of the time approve it, why would you question it? Disgust isn't fixed, it's learned. One culture celebrates fermented foods, another refuses to touch. One generation fears tattoos, the next calls them art. One society considers insects a delicacy, another sees them as unimaginable. The Romans didn't wake up every morning thinking, "Today I'll brush my teeth with urine." To them, it wasn't urine, it was a cleaning product, a tool, a solution. Normality has a strange ability to disguise the unbelievable, and that's where history quietly begins repeating itself. Before laughing at the Romans, ask yourself a harder question. What do we do today that future generations will find horrifying? Perhaps they'll wonder why we flooded our lives with ultra-processed food while calling it convenient, why we traded sleep for endless scrolling, why we surrounded ourselves with invisible chemicals we barely understood, why we chased perfectly white smiles, flawless skin, and filtered faces, sometimes caring more about appearance than health. Every era has its blind spots. Every civilization believes it's more rational than the last. History rarely agrees. The Romans weren't uniquely irrational. They were simply human, exactly like us. And that realization is far more unsettling than the urine itself. There's another twist almost nobody mentions. Did every Roman brush their teeth with urine every single day? Probably not. Ancient Rome stretched across vast regions and centuries. People had different habits, different levels of wealth, and different access to cleaning materials. Historical sources suggest urine was used in certain dental preparations and whitening practices, but popular culture has exaggerated the idea into a universal daily routine. Reality is rarely as simple as the myth. Yet the myth survives because it tells us something emotionally satisfying. It allows us to feel smarter than people who lived 2,000 years ago. But intelligence isn't measured by the strange things a society believes. It's measured by the willingness to question them. And no civilization, including our own, is immune. History doesn't just preserve facts. It holds up mirrors. The Romans remind us that humans are remarkably adaptable. We can normalize almost anything. Given enough time, enough repetition, enough social approval, even the bizarre begins to feel ordinary. That's both our greatest strength and one of our greatest dangers, because civilizations don't drift into strange beliefs overnight. They arrive one small compromise at a time, one accepted habit, one unquestioned assumption, one everybody does it, until nobody remembers there was ever another way. So, did ancient Romans brush their teeth with urine? Some almost certainly did. Not because they were foolish, not because they enjoyed it, but because they believed they were making themselves cleaner, healthier, more civilized. And perhaps that's the real lesson hidden inside one of history's strangest stories. The most dangerous ideas rarely arrive looking dangerous. They arrive looking practical, reasonable, normal. Thousands of years from now, another civilization may look back at us with the same mixture of disbelief and amusement. They'll wonder how intelligent people could possibly live the way we do, and they'll ask the very same question we ask about Rome today. What were they thinking? The unsettling answer is that they were probably thinking exactly what we're thinking now, that this is normal.